Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate Om Shanti 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 Om Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagini Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Stanza 61. 61. क्लेशेन महतोपास्यः क्लेशेन महतोपास्य बहुयोनि प्रविश्य च विद्यान्वेषणतः श्रेयः इदानीमेव वेदनम्. A Viveki, having known the afflictions and the troubles that one has to undergo to get the post of Virat, decides this is not worth aspiring for. Even if content that having become Virat, one can gain Atma Jnana, even that is not worth, that is inspiring, because it is only Bakabandha Prayasa. Bakabandha Prayasa, we have seen what it is, like catching a crane by putting the butter on the head. If you can put the butter on the head, you can equally catch the crane then and there only. The only exertion that is there and delay that is involved. So that being the case, so finally he concludes like that, it is better to gain the knowledge directly instead of aspiring for Virat post and through that gaining the knowledge. Again, having got the Virat post, you are stuck up for not one life of course one life only, but it is not a life of 100 years, life of one kalpa. So it is not, and that also building what embodiment? Donkeys, cats, rats, all embodiment. So it is not worth aspiring for. This is what is Vedanam, that is directly gaining the knowledge. It is but that Shreyaha. That is why Parishrama Alpasva. Parishrama is alpha. So gaining knowledge directly involves less effort, whereas through Virat, more effort, because first to gain Virat, post one has to take to lots of karma and upasana, and that also in many lives undergoing the routines of sorrows. So it is not worth aspiring for. Finally, he concludes like this, that is the Vairagya Viveka, and there is consequent subsequent, there is a resultant Vairagya of the Mumukshu is shown with his firm determination to gain knowledge directly. एवं विचार्य बहुशः पूर्णमेव मुमुक्षति निवृत्तः सर्वबाह्यार्थात् प्रमेयं मातुमर्हति. अन्वय एवं बहुशः विचार्य पूर्णम एव मुमुक्षति सर्व बाह्यार्थात् निवृत्तः प्रमेयं मातुम अर्हति. सर्व बाह्यार्थात् निवृत्तः प्रमेयं मातुम अर्हति. एवं बहुशः विचार्य, एवं विचार्य, having inquired into like this, how bahushaha, in many fold ways, from different standpoints, from different angles. So, having inquired into the acquisition of Virat force from different standpoints. What are the different standpoints? First, the exertion that is necessary to gain the force. Having got the force, how much fear, etc., that is involved. And in spite of gaining the knowledge, afterwards getting stuck up with the embodiment, with all disgusting embodiment for all the kalpas. No, you can say, no, he has got Atma Jnana, therefore he is unaffected by the embodiment. True, that is also true, unaffected embodiment. But the problem is what? So one has to take to Bakabandha Prayasa. It is not worth aspiring for. So Bahushaha, that is afflictions and the problems that one has to undergo before gaining the Virat course, during the Virat course, and afterwards having got, so having all these Bahushaha, Vicharya. So what does this Mumukshu decide? Turnam eva mumukshati. Mumukshati means desires. Moktum ichhati mumukshati. Desires to gain moksha. When Purnam, Purnam means soon, quickly. What do you mean by quickly Purnam? Without undergoing the Virat course, without taking to Virat course directly. So directly desires to get liberated. And therefore what does he do? Sarva bahyarthat nivruttaha. Having withdrawn oneself from all bahya artha vishaya, from bahya vishaya, and that sarva bahya vishayas include Virat course also. So having developed a staunch vairagya for everything that is external in the world, including Virat course. Why Virat course? Even for Hiranyagarbha course. Even having no desire whatsoever for even Hiranyagarbha course, what does he do? Prameyam matum arhati. Prameyam, the thing to be known. Thing to be known. So, actually here Prameya is Adnyatam Atma Tattvam. The Atma Tattva, the true nature of oneself, that is Adnyatam, that is unknown. Here one doubt is possible. Atma is not a Prameya of any Pramana, including Vedanta. Prameya means object that can be known through a particular Pramana. Atma cannot be known like this, even through Vedanta Pramana. Vedanta Pramana at its best does only one thing, it removes the ignorance. How it is said Prameyam? Even it is said like Sahasranama. It is said as what? Aprameyaha. It cannot be the object of any Pramana. Why it is said here Prameya? A simple sense, that is Adnyata Atma. Atma which is not known, whose knowledge is free. From that standpoint only it is said, not an object of Pramana. That Prameyam Adnyatam Atma Tattvam Matum Arhati. So that is a desire or makes him eligible to Matum. Matum is Pramatum. You should be little careful in Mat. Say Matum, Mata, Ma. What is there Mata and Ma? Hindi. Mata, mother, Ma also is mother. In Sanskrit, when this word comes, you have to, Mata can be mother also, but you have to see the context, because Matum is Pramatum. Pramata also is called as Mata. Prama also is called Ma. Prama also is called Ma. Prameya also is called as Meya. That prefix pra is at times deleted. So that's why especially Ma and Mata, when it comes Pramata, the knower, one should be very careful and see the context and determine the meaning. So Pramatum, Matum is Pramatum, that is Jnatum Arhati, makes oneself eligible, fit to gain the knowledge by Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadhamadi, Shakka, Sampatti, Mumukshutva. So he has no more desire for this Virat force. In this manner, here is a Mumukshu worthy of acquiring the Atma Jnana. So this is what is called as adhikari siddhi. Adhikari is proved. The one who is eligible to gain the knowledge is being proved so far, because jnana, means of knowledge, can be given provided you have got a person who is opting for the knowledge. In the market, many goods come, consumer goods. Why? Because there are buyers. When I see in the shop so many things displayed, I sympathize with the shopkeeper. Why this fellow unnecessarily keeping in the stock and reward, blocking his capital? But he knows better. Because he knows for everything there is a customer, there is a buyer. So therefore, unless a person who is ready to gain the knowledge, what is the use of your Vedanta Shastra and all that? Here is the person. This is the person to whom Vedanta Shastra is addressed. And if others say, no, it is all nonsense, etc., all that means that they have no readiness to gain the knowledge as that is expected. And we think we need not break our head or unnecessarily get disturbed because of the comments of Tom, Dick, Harry about Vedanta, because they are nowhere near that in terms of maturity as such. So let them in their own way, we mind our own business. So now it says, here is a person to whom Vedanta has to be, that is taught. That's what he says now, that adhikari siddhi concluded. Adhikari sadhitasyad evam phala vicharatah tena pramatum yad yogyam tadidanim nirupyate evam phala vicharatah adhikari sadhitah evam phala vicharatah adhikari sadhitah tena yad pramatum yogyam tena yad pramatum yogyam tad idanim nirupyate tad idanim nirupyate. Evam, the exposition that was given so far in this manner, evam phala vicharatah adhikari sadhitah syat. Phala vicharatah. So what is phala vichara? Phala swarupa vichara. By inquiring into the nature of phala. What phala? Virat Swarupa force. Now you may say, what is shown so far is that Virat force is not worth aspiring for. But there are many other things that can be taken to, is it not? To become the Prime Minister of India, or President, or other big industrialist. No, that is not it. But Virat post is not required. Yes. All are short of Virat post. That highest post is not worth aspiring. It automatically means lower acquisitions or accomplishments are not worth aspiring for. So therefore, evam phala vicharatah paswarupa vichara. By this inquiry into the nature of the result in terms of Virat force, what is proved there? Thereby tataha viraktaha adhikari sadhitaha. Adhikari, an eligible person, tataha viraktaha, one who has developed the dispassion for even the Virat pose. That is what adhikari sadhitaha syat is true. Sadhitaha syat means is true. So, by inquiry into the nature of the result as Virat pose, an eligible person who has developed dispassion even for Virat pose is true. And one who wants to gain the knowledge, so that one who has developed the mumukshutva, one who wants to get freed from this samsara as early as possible. Therefore, what is to be done now? Here is an eligible person to gain the knowledge. So therefore, the means of gaining the knowledge have to be provided. So that is the thing that is to be taken to know. Tena. Tena means by that adhikari. Adhikarina. Tena. By that adhikari, adhikarina, Yad pramatum yogyam. Whatever that is fit to be known means neyam vastu. So pramatum yogyam, that is fit to be known means neyam vastu tad, that one. Idanim, now, nirupyate, is being described. So here is an eligible person who is fit to gain the knowledge of Atma. Therefore, that whatever that is worthy to be known, the Atma Sarupa, Brahma Sarupa, one's own true nature, is now being, that is, described. But before actual description of Atma Sarupa, the author feels something else to be known, and that is also told in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. So that is now being introduced now. So now, actually, this is an introduction for the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, mantra 147. In that, the first phrase is being commented. It is now being introduced. You can write if you want. Tadha idam tadhedam. It starts at tadhedam. The tadhedam is tadha idam tarhi avyakritam asi. Current mantra of fourth Brahmana of first chapter of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad starts like this. Tadhedam tarhi avyakritam asi. That is tadha idam tarhi avyakritam asi. What is that tad? Tad stands for the creation, the Jagat, before actually it was created. So that is, Tad stands for Bijavastha Jagat. The Jagat in its seed form, in its unmanifest form, prior to the actual creation. Ha is Nipata, a particle. So this is what the fact is. Idam stands for Idam Vyakritam Jagat. This manifest Jagat, this manifest world that we perceive, we experience. Tat stands for the Jagat before the creation in the unmanifest condition. Ha, that is the first statement of fact. Idam, now Vyakritam Jagat. Tarhi in the sense, not in that case here. Tarhi in the sense, then. What is then? Before the creation. Tarhi stands for Utpattehe Prak. Before the creation. So what was there? Avyakritam Asi. What was there was only Avyakrita. What is Avyakrita? Unmanifest. What do you mean by unmanifest? Anabhivakta Nama Rupam. Avyakritam Anabhivakta Nama Rupam. Abhivakta is manifest. No Abhivakta is Anabhivakta, unmanifest. What is unmanifest? Nama. The world that is presented now in terms of names and forms. Forms need not be only in terms of that is what is seen by the eyes. Whatever the nature of a given thing in the object is the rupa, form of that object. So sound also is a form like that. So anabhivakta nama rupam asi. It was that. Means tad. That is that one. Jagat in a seed form. So it is now the Vyakrita manifest Jagat before the creation was without any manifest name and form. So that is what is. This is what is to be explained, and that Avyakrita finally means ignorance, Prakriti, Maya, because of it the Jagat gets manifest. So it has to be pointed out because otherwise the knowledge is not going to be complete. How, etc. is now being explained. So the necessity of making one know the nature of Jagat is indispensable. Why? The truth is Atma Sarupa, Atma is non-dual. Atma Brahma is non-dual. Whereas the world, do you perceive or not? Do you experience or not? What is meant by non-dual? What is meant by Advaya, non-dual? There is nothing called second. You can see Eka one, there is a possibility of being second. That's why the Ekameva Advitiyam. Eka is told, but at the same time Advitiyam means secondness is not there, means that and that thing alone is there. This is what Shruti finally declares. But moment by moment, we do experience the world in terms of seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling. So therefore what happens? Shruti says, what is there is only Brahma, but we perceive the Jagat. For us, how many things are there? Brahma told by Shruti and Jagat perceived by us. Therefore question comes, how is it non-dual? How is it non-dual? So that the doubt is bound to come. So therefore it is going to be pointed out. The Jagat that you perceive is a product of Maya, Prakriti or Ajnana, whichever you may call, which by itself is false in nature. Just as dream might have been experienced by you, but you don't attach reality to the dream, but you know it is false in nature. Similarly, until the direct cognition of Atma Swarupa, Brahma Swarupa is there, world is bound to be perceived. But from that standpoint, the Swarupa standpoint, you will discover finally that Jagat is false. For that purpose, in the beginning itself, it is to be shown the cause of the Jagat is false, and what is produced by false cause is equally false in nature. Otherwise, your knowledge is not going to be thorough, it is not going to be complete. But to bring this point to the notice is now slowly proceeding step by step. Upadeyasya meyasya vacha sambhavana yatha heya samsara hetushcha vaktavyo yatnatastatha yatha upadeyasya meyasya sambhavana vachya तथा हेय संसार हेतुश्च यत्नतः वक्तव्यः So what was told in the 63rd stanza, second line? Because here is a fit adhikari to gain the Atma Jnana, then what is to be done? The Atma, which is the Jneya Vastu, should be described. So now immediately what is to be described now? As per what was told in the earlier stanza, the Jneya Atma has to be described. But the author, before describing Jneya Vastu, he introduces something else that also is required to be known, without which the Jneya Vastu cannot be known thoroughly. Of course, he is not introducing new leaf on his own as such. This is there already where in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Based on that he says, Yatha, just as Upadeyasya meyasya. Upadeyasya, that it is fit to be acquired. So, that is Grahana Yogya. It is fit to be known, fit to be, that is acquired. What is that? Meyasya. Meyasya. Prameyasya Atmanaha. So, Yatha, just as the Prameya Atma, the Atma whose knowledge is to be gained, has to be described. Vachya, Sambhavana, Vachya. Sambhavana, possibility. Fitness, that is in terms of nature. There is something called Atma which is worthy to be known, and it is possible to know also. There may be something called Atma, but we may not be able to know it. No. The possibility of gaining the knowledge and the fitness of its existence, all these things to be told means actual nature of Atma, Sambhavana, Vachya means should be told. Just as Atma which is worthy to be known, its existence, its nature and the possibility of gaining the knowledge has to be told. Tatha, in the same manner, Heya Samsara Hetushcha yatnataha vaktavyaha. So this also needs to be told, at least with due effort. What is it? Heya samsara hetu. The hetu, the cause of samsara, that is heya. Heya is opposed to upadeya. Upadeya is grahanaya yogya, and heya is tyajya, that which is fit to be given up, fit to be discarded. So, just as the Atma whose knowledge is to be gained has to be described, and its possibility of gaining its knowledge has to be told. In the similar way, in the same manner, the samsara which has to be discarded, its cause has to be what? Told vaktavyaha. How? Yatnataha vaktavyaha. With a due effort, with consistent effort, thoroughly, clearly, it has to be told. What is that? Heya samsara hetu, which also needs to be known to gain the knowledge of Atma. Let us see now. Samsarakya mahavyadhehe kim moolamiti chintite sadhvastaye chikitseyam tada phalavati bhavet. First line Anvaya as it is. Samsarakya mahavyadhehe kim moolam iti chintite tada iyam chikitsa tadbhastaye phalavati bhave. Tada iyam chikitsa. Chikitsa iyam becomes by sandhi chikitseyam. Iyam chikitsa tadbhastaye phalavati bhave. Samsarakya mahavyadhehe kim moolam iti chintite. If it is inquired into, chintite, thought of means considered, to diagnose. So, what is the kim moolam? What is the root cause of what? Mahavyadhi. A very great disease. What is it? Called as samsara. Samsarakya mahavyadhi. This samsara, what is called as samsara, which itself is what? Mahavyadhi. Big disease. What do you mean by big disease? Very difficult to cure. Ordinary thing like cold, etc. is there what? You can just treat it and forget about it. Anyway, even if you don't treat it, it will go, they say. There is a saying, no? If you treat the cold, it will stay for 1 week. If you don't treat the cold, it will go after 7 days. That's the only. But don't neglect the pneumonia, etc. Don't neglect. So, therefore, that's a common saying. It's a common cold. If it is not severe enough, it should not enter the lungs. Then garbad ho jayega. So here says, samsarakya mahavyadhehi. Mahavyadhi, very difficult to cure. What is it? Samsara akya mahavyadhi. What is otherwise called as bhava roga. Called as bhava roga, samsara roga. Its moolam kim iti chintite. What is the root cause of it if inquired to? Then what happens? Tada, then iyam chikitsa. This chikitsa, this treatment, this therapy that is going to be given now in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Iyam chikitsa. What happens? What for this chikitsa is? Remove the root cause of disease called samsara. So therefore, it is not a therapy or a treatment based on symptoms. It is not a symptomatic treatment. Symptomatic treatment will give you 2 dozens of medicines. So here it is that you remove the very root cause of it. So therefore, for better one should know what is the root cause of it. Tadbhastaye. Tadbhastaye means samsarasya moolasya bhastaye. Samsara moolasya bhastaye. For destruction of the root cause of the disease called samsara, So what happens? Tadhvastaye palavati bhave, iyam chikitsa palavati bhave. This treatment in terms of now inquiry to gain the Atma Jnana will become fruitful. It will become fruitful, it will yield the fruit. By all these botherations, what will happen? The same samsara will be kept continuing. There are people who prescribe this without knowing what it is. That's why I say, we have seen in the past also. In Vedanta, this is very important. What is important? What, when, why, how we are given sadhana works also, that is important. Up to what level it works and beyond what level it cannot work. Everything is important. Therefore, for example, karma, upasana, there are many sadhanas are there. But what for they are, up to what level, to get what result, that should be known. It may sound as a fanatic statement. The truth is, without Atma Jnana, freedom from samsara is just next to impossible. You may take upasanas even making you eligible by Virat pose, even up to Hiranyagarbha pose. All these sadhanas are there in the Shruti, the Veda. But the moksha is jnanad evatu kaivalyam. There is no other way. So that being the case, so that is, my Guru said so, therefore it is okay, that Shraddha is, that's why I said, na buddhi vedam janayet ajnanam karma sanginam. Better what? Pray and leave the person to one's own, that is, pursuit as such. But those who have got little viveka and are ready to inquire, better they know what is for what. Therefore, karma, upasana do have a role in moksha marga. But what for? Karma for antakarana shuddhi, upasana for chitta naishchalya. Both are indispensable to gain the Atma Jnana. But finally, what is the indispensable thing? Shravana. With those readiness of the mind through karma and upasana, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyana, whereby one gains the Nishtha, the firm abidance in Atma Jnana. There lies the moksha. Nothing else can liberate the person from samsara. Even though sadhana, other sadhanas may give higher and higher status in the creation, but short of liberation. That is the case. So, that is, it is just like treatment given by a doctor who knows not what the exact diagnosis is. Like that, this is anarthakaram means here, anartha means continuance in samsara. Calamities means what? Continuation in samsara, no freedom from samsara. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jataresha. Because of some upasanas and right karmas, better embodiment will be available. But better embodiment, how long they are going to last? Sine punne bambayam vishanti. Sine punne bambayam vishanti after the camps. Sine punne, God knows. Bambayam or Dharavyam, we don't know. So, depends on, or need not be human embodiment, it can be any animal embodiment only, also yatha karma, yatha shrutam. So that is the case. Yeah, that in that sense it is called as anarthakaram, means it is not going to cure the disease of samsara, will keep the individual continued in samsara. Similarly, that is the prakriti api avagamyakam. So is anarthakara here. That means without knowing the root cause of samsara, taking to this and that means sadhana by itself is not useful. Not only not useful, can be also, it is harmful. Harmful in the sense, it will make the samsara continue. The person may be under the impression that I am going to get freed from samsara, but actually the person is kept continued in samsara, not knowing that it is going to happen. So now, what is the root cause of this samsara? Maya moolam dvaitameta ityajnate katham pidam advaitam buddhimarohet syadato nyatu naiva dhih. Okay, you take that Dvaitam etad iti ajnate. Sandhi breaking. Second line. Syad ataha anya. Both sandhi breaking. Now you take the anvaya. Second line. Syad ataha anya. Anvaya. Etad dvaitam maya moolam iti ajnate. Katham tu idam advaitam buddhim arohe. Ataha anya syat. Ataha anya, add their buddhi. Ataha anya, after anya add buddhi. Ataha anya buddhi syat. Dhihi tu naiva. Dhihi tu naiva. Etadvaitam maya moolam iti ajnate. When this is not known, what is not known? Etadvaitam. This dvaitam is dvaita rupa jagat. This word full of duality which we perceive, which we experience moment by moment. This is what we have seen earlier. The perception or the experience of the jagat you cannot deny. Moment by moment we are experiencing this word. So now the question, the point comes. Etadvaitam. This dvaita rupa jagat is what? Maya moolam. Means he is the one that has got Maya as its moola, the karana. This Dvaita Rupa Jagat is the one which has got the Maya as its cause. Means Jagat is the product of Maya. Iti Ajnati. If this is not known, that this Jagat is the product of Maya, the Maya is the root cause of this Jagat. If this is not known, is it possible to gain the knowledge of Advaita Rupa Atma, Advaita Rupa Brahma? It is just not possible to gain the knowledge of Advaita. If that is there, means if that root cause of this Jagat, which is Dvaita Rupa, that Maya, it is Maya, is not known. Katham tu idam Advaitam. How is it ever possible for this Advaita Rupa Atma Brahma? What was? Buddhim arohe. Buddhi arona means knowing. How is it possible to know the Advaita Brahma? Why? The word perceived experience will be verily there as different from who? Advaita Brahma. And because the duality is there, Brahma cannot be Advaya. And if it is not Advaya, that Brahma is subject to destruction. Anything Sadvaya, any limitation means destruction. And if it Brahma is subject to destruction, what for should we aspire for that? So that all these problems do come. Advaita Katham tu idam. How is it possible to gain the knowledge of Advaita Brahma? Means it is not possible. Ataha. Ataha means thereby. Thereby means not knowing that Dvaita Rupa Jagat is Maya Mula or caused by Maya. Where Maya is Mula, the Maya itself is what? In nature is false. Maya is false. The Maya, you can't say is not, nor can you say is. Why you can't say it is not? Subject to destruction. Why so you can't say it is not? It is not, because its effect is sin. Why you can't say it is? Because it's subject to destruction. Just that. The ignorance that makes you see the snake in the place of rope is not truly not there. Why truly not there? There was not a snake at all. But you saw the snake. That is what? Effect is seen, therefore it is there. But when you bring the light, it is gone. If it were truly there, if it were Satya, it cannot be negated, it cannot be destroyed at itself. Satya means Trikala Abadita. Maya or Ajnana, Prakriti cannot be Trikala Abadita because they are subject to destruction. From that standpoint, it is not Satyam. So therefore, Advaita, how is it possible? Therefore, Ataha. Ataha means, thereby means, Because of not knowing that Dvaita is the Maya Mula, Dvaita Rupa Jagat is the effect of false Maya. What will happen? Keep aside, gaining the knowledge of Advaita, you will get this notion. What will you get? Anya buddhi sya. See, what is the knowledge to be gained? Advaita dhihi. Knowledge of Advaita Sarupa Atma Amma. On the contrary, you will get Anya buddhi. Do you know what is Anya buddhi? Dvaita Rupa Jagat is real. We make a note of that. This is a difficult phrase it is. Anya buddhi. Anya, then you have to add buddhi. What is Anya buddhi? Dvaita Rupa Jagat is real. Buddhi syat tu, whereas dhina. Dhihi tu naiva syat. Dhi here is Advaita dhihi. The knowledge of Advaita Rupa Atma Brahma naiva syat is not going to take at all. Not going to take place. Is not going to be born at all. Why? The notion that Jagat is real is verily there. The root cause of Jagat is not known. To experience as it obtains now, you cannot deny unless you know the cause of it. So it will appear to be true. Just as for a dreamer, so long as the dreamer continues to dream appears to be real. Only after knowing that, only after waking up, he knows that it is false. Why? He knows, oh, it is a false projection only. So it was not truly there. Like that here also. Unless the root cause of Dvaita Rupa Jagat is known to be false Maya, the experiences cannot be denied, and then what will happen? Advaita knowledge is just not possible. So this being the case, that is, this Maya, which is false in nature, is the root cause of Dvaita Rupa Jagat. Maya is what as Ajnana, Prakriti, as you have taken, not simply as Maya, Brahmashraya Maya, how it operates at individual level at ignorance. Ignorance of what? Ignorance of my true Swarupa, ignorance of Swarupa of Ishvara, ignorance of the nature of Jagat. These three. I know not what is my true Swarupa, true I Atma. I don't know what is the Bhagavad Swarupa. I don't know what is the Swarupa of the Jagat. Means Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara. What is the true nature is not known because of that ignorance. Now, ignorance is the cause of the Dvaita Rupa Jagat, which denies me the knowledge of Advaita Atma Brahma. But how does this Maya or how does this Ajnana operate in giving me samsara? It must be having a modus operandi or different steps it must be having, not directly, yes. It has got a way of operating, a modus operandi is there. So that's why the Ajnana of Atma becomes Ajnana of Atma called Maya is a samsara hetu. But it operates in this manner with these seven aspects. With these seven facets, what? It actually operates in producing the samsara. What are those? And they, one by one they will be described. So first it is further emphasized that the root cause of this samsara should be known. This samsara is because of Maya, and same Maya at the individual level presents at Ajnana. How? Not knowing oneself is the cause of this sorrow will be demonstrated, and then what exactly the cause in terms of Ajnana operating in through the seven facets will be shown. First, so how does Ajnana function? Let us see. Now, Ajnana means same thing as Maya, Maya that was told in the earlier stanza, there Ajnana. Deha Drishta Kriya Kartru Raga Dhyasartha Saptakat Dvara Samsara Hetu Syad Atma Jnanam Tu Lokavat Atma Jnanam Mark it. It is not Atma Jnanam. Atma Jnanam. What is mean? Atmanaha Ajnanam. Not Atmanaha Jnanam, Atma Jnanam. Atmanaha Ajnanam. Atma Jnanam. Atma Jnanam to Lokavat. Take the first line as it is, but you make note of different words that are there. Deha, Adrushta, Kriya, Kartru, Raga, Adhyasa, Artha, Saptaka. Adhyasa, Artha, Saptaka. Dwara, Samsara Hetuhu Syat. Samsara Hetuhu Syat. Atma Jnanam, Atmanaha Ajnanam. This ignorance of oneself, which was mentioned as Maya in the earlier stanza, this Atmanaha Ajnanam. So he says, in the illustration is given, two means to point out, it doesn't work directly. It works through certain means. So, to lokavat, as in the case of the word, means illustration will be given afterwards. In the word, a person who knows not oneself means not Atma level, as an individual level. As an individual level, without assessing one's own capacity, etc., undertake some venture, the person may land in the problem. Why? He has not assessed oneself properly. So like that. So that is lokavat, and what is the illustration will be explained afterwards. So as found in the word, that not knowing one's position or one's status, one's capacities, if one takes to any undertaking, it may bring sorrow like that. To lokavat, Atma Jnanam to lokavat, here it operates through these 7 means. Deha, body. Adrishta, Papa, Punya. Kriya, Karma. Kartru, the notion of doership. Raga, that is like, include dislike also, dvesha also, raga, adhyasa, superimposition in terms of shobhanadhyasa. Raga also includes the dvesha. Adhyasa here is shobhanadhyasa, ashobhanadhyasa. Shobhanadhyasa is, oh, this is something good for me. Ashobhanadhyasa is, this is something bad I have to avoid. Shobhanadhyasa, this is something good I have to acquire. One's own evaluation, which may not be true. It may not have the final the validity. So, adhyasa, artha, bahyarthas, vishaya, sense object. Saptaka, through these 7 means. Saptaka dwara, through these 7 means. Samsara hetuhu sya, becomes the cause of samsara. What becomes the cause of samsara? Ajnana or Maya referred to earlier. Through these 7 means. And what are these 7 means and how they become the cause of samsara will be explained afterwards from stanza 71 to 75. Stanzas 71 to 75 will explain how Deha, Adrishta, Kriya, Kartru, Raga, Adhyasa, Artha, how these become the cause of samsara will be explained afterwards. So that now he first simply said they become the cause of samsara. That through these means Ajnana becomes samsara hetu. How? Lokavat. In the world, if one knows not one's position, etc., properly and takes to some work, he may land in problem or get affliction. What is that lokavat? That illustration is explained in the 69th stanza. Atma jnanam anarthanam moolam loke pinetarat स्वपराक्रममज्ञात्वा युध्यन् म्रियत एव हि लोके अपि आत्माज्ञानम् अनर्थानां मूलम् इतरत्न स्वपराक्रमम् अज्ञात्वा युध्यन् म्रियते एव हि Loke, in the world we find this. What is that? Loke api atmajnanam anarthanam moolam itaratna. Ignorance of oneself. But here ignorance of oneself is not from the Vedanta standpoint. In the Vyavahara standpoint. From the standpoint as the individual. Here ignorance, Atmajnana is not Atma Swarupa Jnana, but as an individual, not knowing one's own position, one's own capacities, one's own status, etc. Atmajnanam anarthanam moolam is the cause of future calamities, future sorrows, itaratna, nothing other than itself. So the knowledge about oneself as an individual is the cause of many sorrows in the world and nothing else. How an illustration is like this. Swaparakramam ajñātvā yuddhyan mriyate eva hi. A person fighting with some other, not knowing one's own capacity means overestimating one's capacity in comparison with the enemy's capacity, enemy's mind. Not knowing means he may be knowing something, but in contrast or in relation to the enemy's capacity, enemy's strength, where do I stand? Not knowing that. That is what it is. Swaparakramam ajñātvā means perhaps overestimating one's own power and strength. So, overestimating one's own power and strength. Yuddhyan, fighting, mriyate, the person dies. For example, let us say, Bakasura. Bakasura was means a strong demon, but Bhima, he overestimated himself in the context of Bhima. He said, what is a Bhima human being? I'm a Rakshasa, he said. He got killed. Why that? Kauravas. Duryodhana, especially Duryodhana. He overestimated his power because of 11 Akshauhinis of army, plus especially Bhishma, Drona, Kripa and Shalya. Therefore, what these Pandavas can do? Ignored one aspect. What is it? Krishna is there on whose side? Pandava side. Not that he was repeatedly told. Bhishma as the army chief, every time he was counseling with him. Of course, army-wise, this is what it is, etc. But every time he used to tender the advice, look, withdraw. So long as Krishna is there, nothing can be done. He went on the might of his army. So that is why not only he died, entire clan got wiped out. That is how it is. That is Swaparakrama Adhyatva means overestimating one's own power, strength, that is not knowing where do I stand in relation to the enemy. Yuddhyan, fighting, mriyate eva hi. So not knowing one's own swarupa, what happens? So one gets caught up in this samsara sagara, inviting nothing but sorrow only. This illustration is now, the Drishtanta is applied to Darshtanta. Let's see. Om Swastik Prajabhya Paripalentam Nyayena Margena Mahimahija Brahmanebhya Shubhavastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino
पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम।